World Wide Web, I'm Baker Shado, the internet personality with the best hair, and welcome back to...
The Summer of Halloween!
Now, after Halloween 3 was such a financial disappointment, and the main complaint for moviegoers being that it had no Michael Myers in it, it took a while before they made Halloween 4, and you better be damn sure that the producers made sure that there was Michael Myers in it. Not John Carpenter, though. This is the first one of the series that he really didn't work on. Oh, he made a script, and Myers was in it. Kinda. More of a spooky, ghostly curse on Haddonfield, where even though he was dead, the terror continued. This was deemed too cerebral for general audiences, and the producer, Mustafa Akkad, spearheaded the tale of Michael Myers alive and well, doing his slasher villain dance back in Haddonfield. Which does bring up the question, how the hell is he still alive? It turns out to be a very simple answer, though. It's because he's still alive. Evidently, an alternative opening was planned at one point where we see the important characters have just the right things happen for them to ensure survival, but that's not shown here, so effectively it comes off as just because. Either way, Michael escapes confinement during a transfer only to return to Haddonfield and stalk a babysitter in an attempt to murder a long-lost female family member with an overly convoluted backstory. So, if Season of the Witch was Katamari, Halloween 4 is Call of Duty. Anyway, let's take a look at Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, and see Michael Myers return for Halloween. Zooming ahead to 1988, 10 years after the events of the first, because it seriously took 6 damn years since Halloween 3 to get this movie out, we see it's but a day before Halloween, and on this dark and stormy night, we see the Ridgemont Federal Sanitarium, where a Smith's Grove ambulance has arrived to transfer a particularly high-profile patient, Michael Myers.
Jesus.
Jesus ain't got nothing to do with this place.
Have you seen the cafeteria here? If that's not undeniable proof of the existence of the flying spaghetti monster, then I don't know what is. The security guard, played by Raymond O'Connor, must have realized they skipped the reshot Halloween 2 ending, so he decides to fill in the gaps while they take the elevator.
But his doctor, of all people, shot him 6 times.
Some say, to this day, if you look in a mirror in a dark room alone and say, he shot him 6 times, Dr. Loomis will come for you.
Then he set him on fire. Both of them nearly burned to death.
And it looked an awful damn lot like a giant explosion and Michael definitively burning to death. But I'm sure that the secondhand word of some random-ass security guard is far more convincing than actually seeing the explosions throw them from the fire and paramedics show up to douse Michael in fire extinguisher. On the plus side, since that fateful morning, evidently Michael Myers, now played by George P. Wilbur, unless he's in bandages, in which case it's Tom Morga. Anyway, he's in a coma, and that should make transport much easier, especially considering Dr. Loomis is not here to protest. The sanitarium staff are not big fans of having to deal with his shit.
And with Myers gone, my hope is that he'll either transfer, retire, or die.
I swear, the dopey security guard is the only fan around here he has. Personally, I'm sick to death of hearing how he shot him 6 times. Thus they head out into the night. To that classic Halloween theme. Hit it! It's a long and lonely ride, so the 2 paramedics decide to pass the time with a little small talk. Specifically, important details about the extended family of Michael Myers that was the kind of stuff considered classified in Halloween 2.
Did Hoffman say anything about living relatives?
Yeah, a niece living in his hometown.
Urge to kill. Returning.
No, I still don't understand.
Damn, even Michael didn't make it past the 80s without getting at least a little headbanging. After he jams his thumb into the man's skull, we suddenly shift over to that niece in question, Jamie, played by Danielle Harris. Her staring out into the stormy night with all its plot-relevant sights is interrupted when her sister comes in, Rachel, played by Ellie Cornell. Or should I say her foster sister, as Jamie was in fact adopted, because Laurie didn't just pump out a kid right after the events of Halloween 2. She fucking died about a year ago.
We're not really sisters, Jamie. But that doesn't mean that I love you any less.
Sure does.
No, it really doesn't. It's your bitchy attitude is why I don't love you. Either way, insomniac or not, it's time for bed. Or at least bedroom, where it seems the window was left open during this storm. Oh, well, after Jamie gets her secret stash of pictures of Jamie Lee Curtis, she cries just a little bit more before heading to bed. Damn, Michael, really cleaned yourself up, didn't you? As Jamie goes to her bed to give us the classic, "Hey God, remember, death is a very real option for me tonight" prayer, strangely her closet door keeps swinging open. Whatever could that mean? Ah, the old monster under the bed trick. And closet door telekinesis. Michael's in his 30s now, though, and that little girl easily bests him at a contest of strength. But damn it, she somehow locked herself in her own room! Okay, I'm used to teleporting slasher villains. That's a bit extreme, don't you think? Ah, it's fine, because it turns out it was all just a dream! She's just screaming in the closet, clutching those secret pictures of Mommy. Ah well, just wipe her tears away, and that's all she needs to get her insomniac ass right to bed, and we can move on to the following day in Haddonfield, October 31st. Halloween! As before, the fact it's Halloween has little to do with our main characters and their boring-ass lives, such as Jamie's foster parents, Richard and Darlene, played by Jeff Olson, and Karen Alston.
Damn. Darlene?
There's a clean one in the laundry room next to your blue splash.
Did that guy just dunk his tie into his own coffee and then look at his wife like it's her responsibility to wipe his ass? Getting ready for tonight, the parents are busy figuring out what every parent has to figure out for their kids on Halloween. Who's gonna babysit the fuckers? Unfortunately, the babysitter they had hired just decided to cancel on them, so fuck it, Rachel can do it. Yeah, she has plans that she's had for ages, but now let's get pissed at her as if she's the one who canceled on us just seconds ago.
I'm sorry I ruined everything. If I wasn't here, you can go out.
Oh.
Bitch, you can be there and she can go out if the fucking babysitter didn't cancel. Or if your foster parents thought maybe their first Halloween with you was slightly more important than miscellaneous off-screen bullshit.
Good job, Rachel. That little girl needs all the love we can give her right now. All you can do is think about yourself.
This coming from the man who ruins his own tie before looking at his wife like she burnt the orange juice. Rachel is literally the only person here who has not actively tried to make this situation worse. Either way, it's on Rachel to be the one and only person who gives a shit about Jamie, because we all know I don't. The kid's not the most excited for Halloween tonight, so Rachel comes up with another idea.
How about this afternoon I pick you up from school and we go get ice cream?
Double scoops?
Which is our first hint of the pure evil Maya's blood running through her veins. Speaking of people not understanding the terror they're dealing with, it turns out Dr. Loomis, still played by Donald Pleasance, wasn't even informed of the transfer of Michael Myers. Showing up to berate the staff about letting it out results in the expected scoffs, right up until a little phone call informs the hospital of a certain mishap.
Apparently there was an accident just south of Mill Creek near the Loomis.
Plot twist. He wasn't actually paying attention to what was said. He's just, man's getting up there in years and bladder control ain't what it used to be. Or the very limited information about the location was all he needed to get there and spot the assload of emergency workers surrounding the crash. Whipping out his pimp cane, Dr. Loomis sees no sign of Michael Myers amidst the mass of unidentifiable mangled corpses, and thus knows for certain the man is going right the fuck back to Haddonfield, because going there and killing people is pretty much the only thing he ever does. That and kill people to steal their coveralls. In the face, maybe? I don't know. I just find it really hard to explain how the fuck he impales someone and then really quickly takes that outfit down to the dry cleaner, sews up that hole, because, yeah, it's not there when he's wearing it. And wouldn't you know it, this is the very same establishment that Dr. Loomis is stopping at for gas. However, something just doesn't seem right. Something like the dead guy hanging in the garage, coupled with the dead woman behind the counter. That's definitely not how to run a place. Even worse, the phones have been destroyed. And last but certainly not least...
Michael? Why now?
Did you hear about what people were saying about Halloween 3, Loomis? If they didn't bring Michael back for the 4th, there wouldn't be a 5th. Loomis begs Michael to maybe reconsider the killing spree, but this really isn't getting anywhere.
Michael. God damn you.
Okay, so is Dr. Loomis legitimately going insane? Or is this just another example of how Michael can so easily slip away so long as he's not in frame? As it turns out, Michael is in fact still around, but not for long, stealing a tow truck. He drives off towards Haddonfield, while this service station blows the fuck up, along with Dr. Loomis's car! It's fine though, the man already survived an explosion, so this ain't nothing new to him. Jamie, on the other hand, has to endure the legions of asshole kids at school as, unlike her mother, nobody made any effort whatsoever to hide this kid's family history from being public knowledge.
Boogeyman, boogeyman, Jamie's uncle's a boogeyman. How come your mommy didn't make you a costume, Jamie? How could you? Her mommy's dead.
She doesn't have a daddy either because he got caught with 6,024 grams of Satvia marijuana. Yeah, and now he's rotting away in the Pickneyville Correctional Center for 4 to 15 years on a felony possession charge. Thus, the children downright chase Jamie out of school, leaving her in tears. Don't worry, it's time for Rachel to pick Jamie up, along with Rachel's friend, played by Leslie L. Rowland.
You remember Lindsay, don't you? Hi, Jamie.
Yeah, she's the girl Annie was babysitting in the first movie. Supposedly there were plans to make that very definitively known and her actually matter to the plot in this one, but that was kind of scrapped, so instead she just sort of drives them around for a little bit and then leaves. She does, however, change the after-school plans. While Rachel has to babysit Jamie tonight, her boyfriend does work over at the Discount Mart, and they can stop by to see him under the guise of shopping for Halloween costumes for Jamie. This introduces said boyfriend, Brady, played by Sasha Jensen. His friend Wade, played by Richard Stay, is intent on making the moves on this hot babe of the slasher movie, Kelly, played by Kathleen Kinmount.
Fuck off, Wade.
Yeah, that Wade guy is such a loser. Excuse me, I've got to do something about this pain in my chest. After Rachel and Jamie show up, Rachel can meet up with Brady, alternating between making out and letting him know, oh yeah, our date we scheduled for 20 minutes from now is fucking cancelled. Sorry about that. Oh well. Jamie sifts through the costumes all these assholes at school were wearing, but ends up finding one she does like. A clown costume! But this costume has some negative connotations. And as it turns out, Michael Myers also was looking for a costume at this very same store. Pretty damn popular hole in the wall they got here. When Jamie screams and accidentally breaks the mirror, though, that's just enough to get Michael Myers out of frame, meaning he vanishes into thin air. Or he was never there and she's crazy. Could go either way. Much like when an exhausted and dehydrated Dr. Loomis continues just walking the fuck towards Haddonfield. Said it was a 4-hour drive, so it's gotta be like 200 miles. A car stops to help him along the way, filled with hot cheerleaders. Until they speed off and leave him in the dust. So, not sure if that was a hallucination or a real group of assholes.
Get it in gear, old man! I ain't got till Judgment Day!
But hey, he does manage to get a ride. In a rickety-ass car with a squirrely-looking motherfucker, but honestly, that's probably better chances for survival than marching 200 miles down the highway. The kind soul who picked up Dr. Loomis would be Reverend Sayer, played by Carmen Philpe. He's a man on a mission.
I've been hunting the bastard for 30 years, give or take. Come close a time or two. Too damn close.
He's going after this terrifying evil that is currently holed up in Haddonfield, Illinois. With the shocking revelation of their shared goal, the two of them will never be seen together again. We can assume the guy drove Loomis to Haddonfield, but after that, who knows what the hell happened to him. Anyway, it's Halloween night. While Jamie goes out trick-or-treating, Michael somehow knew where she lived and where his secret stash of family pictures were, confirming that yes, Jamie is his niece. Back with Loomis, he's made it to the police station first and foremost.
I need to speak with Sheriff Brackett.
Well, then you'll have to travel about 3,000 miles south of here.
So, Colombia, Venezuela, or Ecuador? Or Florida. Not nearly 3,000 miles, but that's getting really damn nitpicky even for me. Point is, Brackett is retired and they have a new sheriff in town, Ben Meeker, played by Boo Starr. Boo Starr? B-E-A-U Starr with 2 R's. It would seem that Dr. Loomis's reputation precedes him. Not the being insane or getting sheriff's daughters killed part, but the fact that he was fucking right about Michael Myers 10 years ago. And after learning that the long-distance phone calls are somehow not working, Meeker trusts the man's gut right away. More important than any of that, though, Rachel's taking Jamie out trick-or-treating. However...
Trick-or-treat!
Rachel. Hi.
Gotta say, the hot girl, far more popular than you, answering her door not wearing any pants. That is a very terrifying costume in the right light. So here's the story of a man named Brady, who was macking on two very lovely girls. His girlfriend found out that her friend was pantless, and now he's all alone. This short distraction is enough to make Rachel lose track of Jamie, who ran off with the other trick-or-treaters. Before long, though, the police response to Loomis's warnings about Michael results in a broadcast instructing citizens to return to their homes and stay inside. However, the bar, full of everyone's favorite, the drunken redneck posse, isn't one to take these orders without question and head off towards the sheriff's office for some answers.
Where we going, Earl? We're going to bed. Phone never just rings at a police station. No way. No how.
Yeah, a group of armed, drunken rednecks storming a police station is sure to inspire calm in the public. Much like the police barging into people's homes, Loomis and company have made it to Jamie's place, but as she's out trick-or-treating, no one is home. But Michael was here.
This is starting to spook me, Doc.
Jesus fucking Christ, Michael, stop killing dogs! Every single time you're in a movie, you kill a dog! What, did a dog kill your family? Oh, wait, no, that's right, it was you! Michael's not here right now, though, because he's off making sure things will remain dark and spooky for this horror movie by taking out the grid the only way he knows how. Damn, Michael was going live and wired long before Patricia Creepy and I. Now that the whole town is engulfed in darkness, it seems that along with Rachel having a hard time finding Jamie, Jamie herself was just fucking left behind by that group of trick-or-treaters. This town is just full of responsible adults. Oh well, Rachel does find her eventually.
Jamie! Where have you been? Don't ever go off on your own at night again, okay? Not ever.
Not ever, ever. Not even when you're 35 and have to go to work. You hear me? Not only did Rachel find her just now, but looky here, Loomis and the sheriff have come to save them too. Good thing considering Michael Myers shows up, along with his friends. Goddamn Michael Myers and Michael motherfucking Myers!
Hey, don't shoot! Oh, that was great. You thought it was me, didn't you? Sheriff!
It's just a prank, bro! If anything, that's just more of a reason to shoot them. Anyway, with the two of them safely in the car, they can return to the police station. Unfortunately, not only did Michael Myers already beat them here, but the son of a bitch had the audacity to murder absolutely every single police officer in the building, and he didn't even do it on screen. Fucker. Oh, but remember those drunken rednecks? Well, they finally show up, and they want to know what the hell is going on.
It was Michael Myers. He's come home to kill.
The dance floor! Telling them about the slasher villain that's come to town has the obvious effect of getting the group of drunken rednecks to go out right away to try to hunt the man down.
You just created a lynch mob.
You haven't got a police force. These men may be the only defense you've got.
How long until this plan backfires spectacularly?
Shit, Earl. It's Ted Hollister.
Be very quiet. I'm hunting Michael Myers.
Anyway, on to the important part. Teens fucking. Also, for good or for ill, it's a very impressively edited sex scene. I don't have to pull out the smiley faces at all because the fucking camera always cuts away before we ever get to see anything. This feels like it was edited for TV ahead of time. Feels weird not having to censor. Fuck it, I can put smiley faces on whatever I want. Well, they get upset if I don't use them every so often. Upsetting to these two is the fact that Kelly's dad just came home. As it just so happens, her father is the sheriff. As the police station was ransacked, they decided the best place to put the children for now was home with the Meeker family. That way, things can slow down a lot. Killer out there, once you're all dead, best time to just kick back and take a breather, you know? The big thing that happens here is they do have an old battery-powered radio, and Meeker uses it to contact the state police in an attempt to get some help.
Yeah, this is Ben Meeker, sheriff over in Haddonfield. Our phone and power lines are down, and we have a killer running loose in the street. Michael Myers.
Is this some kind of Halloween prank?
If it is, it's one of the most elaborate pranks to date. Gonna make the Kelly Hopkinsville encounter look like a Baptist church hell house. He gets them to agree to come down, which is good considering he leaves Rachel to tend to the radio while he runs off into the night searching for the killer. Inside, they don't have much to do right now beyond sit around and wait to be killed by Michael Myers. Oh, yeah, that was Deputy Logan, played by George Sullivan. Did a lot of good around here, sitting in that chair and dying. This means it's Michael in the chair, and he has a shotgun! Michael, I know you're trying to be creative with your kills, but fucking everybody already thinks that shotguns are extreme close-range weapons anyway. Hearing that the help is coming very shortly, Rachel heads down, but finding out that Logan and Kelly are both very, very dead, this sends her into a panic. At least she's not quite as dumb as Brady, who shows up to save the day. This is one of those magical doors that lock people inside their homes that's nothing 2 shots of 12 gauge can't solve. Or it is. Dumbass still can't get it open. Oh well, they can run away upstairs. That'll work. Sure, Myers is right on their ass, but he can hold them off with the boomstick. But, oh, it ran out of ammo! Obviously, it's a side-by-side 12-gauge double-barrel shotgun. Thing holds 2 rounds. Use both of them on the door. Motherfucker can't count to 2. Now that he's in a tense as fuck situation, hands shaky as hell, he can't manage to actually reload the damn thing before Michael calmly strolls up to him and murders the fuck out of him. Rachel and Jamie, on the other hand, kept running upstairs, escaping onto the roof itself. Not the safest escape route, considering Rachel falls the fuck off, hard enough that even Michael assumes she's dead. She's not, but the point is, Myers is after Jamie.
Going out here alone?
Never go out alone at night! Never! Not even when you're 80, you got that? He needs to get her to safety.
Where's the schoolhouse?
We can lure Myers there and have him kill the little shits that were bullying you in Act 1. The idea that Michael won't suspect the schoolhouse is kinda shot in the ass, though. When breaking in, they kinda sorta set off all the alarms. Guess then it's not too surprising when this happens. Oh, it's gonna be hard to take the sumbitch down now. Michael Myers went Super Saiyan. With Jamie all on her own, Michael slowly slinks after her because, hey, it's not as fun if you don't give them a chance. However, Rachel also heard the alarms and keeps the killer at bay with the power of a fire extinguisher. It turns out even the drunken redneck gang showed up to help. Hearing Myers is in there, alone, stunned, readily killable, though. The police are on their way. They can take it from here.
Screw it, let's get out of here. Hell.
I ain't never stepped foot in no public school, and I ain't gonna start now. Now in the truck, Rachie and Jamie are driven out of there, far away from Haddonfield, and they easily pass by the state troopers who head in to deal with the Michael Myers problem. The problem that just so happens to be under their truck the whole time. Thus he kills every last one of them! With something like 100 in sneak, because somehow nobody fucking notices this. I'm actually kind of surprised I didn't just keep sitting there wondering, why is that nice man driving like a maniac all of a sudden? Rachel does what she has to do, getting the corpse out of the way and taking the wheel. Myers, however, realizes that we're still a bit short on TNA and does his best to rip her sweater off. Not today. He gets thrown from the car, run the fuck over, and finally, absolutely shot to fucking hell and back! And if shooting him 6 times, blowing him up, and burning him to death really wasn't enough to actually take him out, surely shooting him 600 times before he falls in a big fucking hole has gotta work. Therefore, happy ending! They can't find Myers' body in that handy-dandy sinkhole, so he's probably dead. Dead enough that even Dr. Loomis believes the evil of that man to finally be destroyed, once and for all. However, back home with the Carruthers family, someone happens to be sneaking around in a clown costume doing unspeakable things. No! 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 So, is the plot twist that Michael was actually the good guy the whole time and they fucked up his plan to save the world? Or is it that the Myers blood is what lets you be evil, and it has to be if you're Michael. Or Jamie, because they never really heard about it running in the family until now. Anyway, that was Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. And boy is it by the numbers! It doesn't help that Halloween 3 was so damn out there, anything even slightly less crazy was going to feel much less daring. However, Halloween 4 doesn't just bring Michael Myers back. It brought things back to Haddonfield, brought it back to a situation where Myers escapes, brought babysitting on Halloween back, brought targeting a female member of the Myers bloodline back, brought the clown costume back. It had a few interesting ideas to explore, but by and large, it's playing it safe, the movie. Of course, that's pretty much what both the studio and the movie-going public seem to want. A no-frills slasher where the Halloween series returns to its roots and Michael returns as center stage. I'm left wondering what it was that John Carpenter actually wanted to do for the fourth movie, but alas. Aside from the basic elements, there does seem to be the unfortunate fact that for everything that Halloween 4 does well, something else just kinda falls flat. Dr. Loomis is a far more tragic character, with his scars and very dark demeanor. It's quite interesting to see how the events of the previous films changed him. Then you have characters like the Reverend. He steals the show, then drives off and is never seen again. That doesn't really even make sense considering the speech he gave made it sound like he was coming to Haddonfield to vanquish the evil. I was getting ready to see him and Loomis become some weird evil-fighting duo, but nah, in one scene and then he's out of here. Overall, Halloween 4 is an okay watch. It's almost completely lacking in Stalker Meyer antics, but it does the slasher flick dance decently enough, coming in at 3 well-armed, highly inebriated neighborhood watchmen out of 5. I was disappointed, but not because it was bad, it was just okay. Thank you all for watching. I've been Dr. Shado. And remember, don't go out alone on your own at night, ever! Ever. How the hell many of them are there?
Screw it, let's get out of here.